Okay, hello everyone. I'm Abraham Cambridge, founder of the Sun Exchange, where anyone can now own solar panels that are remotely located in the sunniest places on Earth and then earn income from them. So let me just get my teeth back in a moment. Okay, so solar power, when you own the hardware, provides a predictable yield, financial yield of 10% a year, or thereabouts, with a well-designed solar plant. And this is actually quite remarkable. I mean, as a civilization, we've just crossed a monumental technological tipping point. We can now produce electricity directly from the sun, cheaper than we can through burning fossil fuels. We are becoming a silicon-based economy. And if you compare that concept to the discussions we've just been hearing around blockchain, these are two parallel breakthrough technologies happening. Solar energy is to the world of energy what blockchain is to the world of money. Solar power is decentralized and democratic form of energy access, just as Bitcoin blockchain is a democratic, decentralized form of financial services access. So when you combine the two, we can then enter a completely new decentralized paradigm. So you may consider that ESCOM is a centralized energy distributor, just as a central bank is a centralized money printer. I mean, ESCOM in itself is a dinosaur, which is ironic because they burn fossil fuels. So when you compare, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so the Sun Exchange is a marketplace that connects people that want to own solar panels to those that need to use solar panels. And think about who wants to own a solar panel. I mean, a lot of people do have solar panels in their home or on the roofs of their businesses, but that's actually out of reach for most people on Earth. You need, 100,000 Rand up front to put solar panels on the roof of your own home, and that's if you're lucky enough to have a roof on your home or even own a home. Most people in the world now live in cities. They don't even have a roof to put solar panels on, so even if you want to go solar, you can't. And if you live in the north of Scotland, you may have the money to put solar panels on, but would you want to? There's no sun. So we have built a platform that enables remote ownership of solar panels to be located in the sunniest locations on Earth. And we enable people to buy into solar panels at the resolution of a single solar cell at a time. And these are solar cells that are located and operating in commercial solar power plants. And that's 100 Rand. So we've reduced the cost of going solar by 3 orders of magnitude, enabling anybody from any walk of life or any financial background to now own an operating solar cell and then actually own that asset. And we started doing this here in Africa, where there's a huge demand for energy and the best solar resource on the planet. It's the sunniest continent on Earth. So it really stands to reason that this is the best place to do this. And in effect, we can make Africa planet Earth solar power station. We can have people all around the world locating their solar panels here, electrifying this continent with solar power, be the first continent in human civilization to go straight to solar, bypassing all those processes of fossil, nuclear, gas, etc. So it is quite an amazing place to be doing this. It's a huge opportunity. And South Africa alone, just to kind of put in context of actually the value of sunlight, if you were to convert the sunlight reaching South Africa into electricity using solar panels and sell at ESCOM rates, it's worth $620 billion a year. And that's just South Africa. Okay, so I mean, the timing, why we're doing this now, I mean, other than the technological reasons, we now have the technology available to us to do this, it's really about the market. I mean, the financial world right now, interest rates are at an all-time low. They may have gone up a little bit in, for example, the UK and the US, but actually, interest rates are very unattractive. I mean, speaking as a millennial, putting money in a bank and getting interest is really boring. Why would I want to do that? I'm getting negative interest. I don't know what my money's doing. I don't want my money going into a bank where it's being put into who knows what. I want to know what my money is doing, and I want to be able to choose where that is. And I'm not the only person who thinks like this. This is what we now can do. We have the technology. And to date, $3.4 trillion worldwide has been pledged to be moved from fossil fuels and put into clean energy systems. The smart money realizes that there is no future in fossil fuels. The world of our energy systems is going to become decentralized, and it's going into things like solar power. So that's why this is a platform to unlock that capital be moved into this continent. So this is how it works. So let's make sure this video's working. So this is how it works. So you visit the sunexchange.com. Here's how to solar power your money. You visit the sunexchange.com, you sign up, and we'll perform a quick identity check. You choose a solar project where you wish to have your solar cells installed, and you place an order, and we'll generate you an estimate of the lease rental income you will earn from your solar cells through the 20-year project life. Once they've all been sold, they get installed, they're fully insured, and we take care of all the long-term lease agreements. Once the solar plant is in operation, you can check your SunExchange dashboard, you can check your earnings, get live project data straight from your solar cells, and then from wherever you are in the world, you can now earn monetized sunshine streamed in Bitcoin from the point of solar production back into your wallet. Streaming monetized African sunshine. Okay. Okay, thank you. And to date, none of this would have been possible, and we've made it possible through our utilization of the Bitcoin blockchain payment rail. With this, we can offer a resolution on payments that's previously inconceivable. We've enabled universal asset leasing on a nano scale, which is borderless. And the other component of this is how we have fractionalized solar panel ownership down to a single solar cell within a project, within a panel, within a project of your choice. So you can now choose where your solar panel is. You can effectively buy solar cells on projects all around the world, so you can be earning monetized sunshine 24/7, 365. And so it gives you an understanding of actually where we've got with this. We now have 30,000 solar cells in operation. We've got 4 commercial solar plants operating. We're solar powering a school in Stellenbosch, a tire recycling factory in Rustenburg, a wildlife rehabilitation center in Durban, and one in Neisner. So these are the kind of projects that we like to solar power, projects which we see as building the world that we want to see. Someone approached us wanting to solar power an abattoir, and we said no. We find it very hard to market that as a sustainable world that we're trying to create. So, we like to choose the projects very carefully that we can then market to a global audience that other people want to support. In terms of our users, we've now got 3,000 registered users on the platform. Actually, we've got now about 4,000 registered users, and they're located in 70 countries. So 70 countries are now getting monetized sunshine beamed to them in Bitcoin. And we've built a pipeline of 500 megawatts of solar projects, not just in South Africa, but East, West Africa. Now even in Latin America and Southeast Asia, people are approaching us saying, we want our project to be owned by members on the SunExchange. We want to distribute and decentralize the ownership of our solar plants to your members. We've also won Best Bitcoin Blockchain Award in the African FinTech Awards for the past 2 years, so we retain the crown on that front. And just to give you an idea of who's actually behind this, so I'm the founder and CEO of the company. I'm a solar engineer by background. I've been in the solar industry for 10 years. I actually started out in the solar industry in the UK, of all places, where there is no sun, but it was a very subsidy and policy-driven market. I developed the UK's first utility-scale solar power plant, which was very subsidy-driven, very policy-driven. So when the UK government changed and they putting their attention onto fracking, they took away the subsidies for solar, and the solar market collapsed. Then I looked out the window and thought, well, where in the world is the solar market yet to happen? South Africa. You know, you've got amazing solar resource in very heavy industry requiring a lot of energy, and you do not need a subsidy or even policy to support people to go solar, because if you own the solar plant on your side of the meter, it's yours. You can use the electricity from it under self-consumption. So that's really the potential here. My co-founder, Larry Temlock, he's based in the States. He's worked in asset finance and developing markets. Lisa Lin, she's been working in tech ops for 25, 30 years. And we have venture development, it's Anthony Stonefield, and Mwezi, who's our social impact entrepreneur, working in more microgrid projects that we're also looking to solve. And Lawrence Kutzer, our VP of engineering. I mean, between these two, we've got about 50 years worth of experience building and scaling tech companies. So obviously we couldn't do this, I mean, unless we had an ability to deploy a ridiculous amounts of solar power in a very short time possible. So we've partnered with all of these companies, or partnering. Between these guys, they're covering pretty much every corner of the earth. We're mainly working at the moment with Saventix. They're based down in Somerset West. They've on themselves have got multiple hundreds of megawatts of solar projects across the African continent. Canadian Solar, they build microgrids in Canada who we're looking to work with. We're already installing their equipment. Solar Turtle deploy containerized microgrids to power schools in remote rural areas to offset diesel generation. I mean, solar power is now a third of the cost of burning diesel, and diesel being the dirtiest form of energy. I mean, if anyone's been in Nigeria and seen the number of generators lined up on streets and the fumes they create, solar is the solution for this. You just need to be able to get decentralized solar plants into where they're needed. And next, so that's what we're doing already, so how do we make it even better? How do we make it so these solar cells can be traded? You know, we've talked about what actually backs Bitcoin and it being very energy intensive, and it is, but if you solar power the Bitcoin mines, you've got solar powered Bitcoin. But actually, we want to create something even better than that. We want to create a currency that's backed by solar cells themselves. You know, this is a solar cell asset-backed currency. So we're now launching the SunX Token, which is a ERC20 Ethereum smart Ethereum ERC20 cryptocurrency. And what happens with the proceeds of this token is that 65% of the proceeds through selling this token will go into directly financing solar infrastructure, a diversified infrastructure pool across multiple geographies. And because it's now backed by a revenue-generating solar cell that's definable, distinguishable, it's a unique asset tied to each coin, we have a new asset class. It is actually defined as it could be then classified as a commodity to be traded on cryptocurrency exchanges. Through owning the token, you also get participation rights when using the Sun Exchange, so you get to be able to vote on which projects we actually launch and which projects we host. So you'll actually have a participation in the steering what the solar-powered economy looks like. We've now just created a video to try and communicate in graphical terms what this actually means. So I hope the sound engineers up there have got the sound working on this video that's coming now.
What is a SunX token? Each SunX token is linked to an actual solar cell in a Sun Exchange solar power plant. It could be powering a school, a factory, or a whole community in one of our rural microgrids. For each SunX token purchased, you own the solar cells it represents. Unlike most digital tokens, SunX represents a physical object, so there's a minimum value, and they are tied to an ongoing revenue stream. Sun Exchange is equipping its solar power plants with additional pay-for-use services, such as provision of internet access, water purification, and cryptocurrency mining, all powered by your solar cells. As rental income accumulates, you will gain ownership of more solar cells at no additional cost. This compounding effect will drive continual economic and environmental transformation. The simple act of purchasing SunX in this token sale event will have a ripple effect into the coming decades as whole industries and nations become solar-powered because of your involvement today. This is your chance to own an ever-growing part of the planet's clean energy infrastructure. SunX tokens will be tradable on major cryptocurrency exchanges, so you can cash in the value of your SunX token and solar cells. First participants are rewarded with an up to 40% bonus. That means 40% more tokens to reward you for your early participation. The earlier you join, the higher the bonus. Be part of the future crypto solar-powered world. Join Sun Exchange today.
So there we have it. That is solar-powered money in its very truest sense. And with this, the SunX token, it not only finances solar infrastructure, but the revenues created from that solar infrastructure is pooled and then refinances more solar infrastructure. So it enables exponential growth of solar-powered infrastructure. So rather than distributing the revenue, which under potentially the Howey test in the United States would constitute a security, this, therefore, just captures all that solar infrastructure and grows it, which means the assets you own multiply over time through your ownership of the token. And that token represents the ownership of it, which means you can claim rewards for, there's a cryptocurrency called Solar Coin, you can claim the carbon credits for it, and you can lease your solar cell to other people or back to the Sun Exchange. So that is the concept of the token. And I invite you all to visit our website, sign up, take a look. We've actually sold out of all our projects at the moment, but we've got some great projects coming up very soon. So thank you very much, and glad to hear any questions you may have.